All right, everyone get ready. Because today we are going deep, deep into the world of animal pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah.
And specifically Sequent Scientific.
That's right.
They just released their second quarter financials for fiscal year 2025.
Yeah, they did.
And they had a big announcement.
A big merger announcement.
Yeah.
They're talking about this. It's a very fascinating case study.
Yeah.
You know, Sequent's a global company already. They're in over 90 countries.
Wow.
But this merger could, like, really take them to another level.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, just give everyone background.
Yeah.
Sequent Scientific is this multinational company based in India, and they are focused on animal health.
That's what they do.
So they produce and sell animal pharmaceuticals all over the world.
All over.
And we're going to go through their Q2 FY25 reports.
Yeah.
They have investor presentations.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to kind of treat it like we're in the boardroom with them.
Exactly.
Like we have this insider access.
And those reports really tell a story of some impressive growth in the face of some headwinds, you know. So the revenue's up 6.6% year on year.
Really?
Hitting $3,686 million.
Okay.
Which is not nothing in today's economy, you know?
Especially globally.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I am curious, considering those challenges that you mentioned, what is really driving this growth?
Well,
is it across the board or is it certain segments?
So their formulations business is doing really well.
Okay.
Double-digit growth in almost all of their markets.
Wow.
Europe's been particularly strong.
Interesting.
And emerging markets like Turkey are looking really good.
So even with all the uncertainty globally, they're finding those pockets of opportunity and capitalizing on them.
They are.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But what about their API business? I remember reading that was kind of flat this quarter.
You're right. Their API business did have a kind of flat quarter. They had to discontinue some product lines in India, which hurt revenue.
Yeah.
And there was a customer claim provision they had to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
But they actually managed to improve margins.
Really?
In this segment because of Project Pragati.
Project Pragati.
Yeah.
What is that? And how did that help improve their margins?
It's basically an initiative to improve operations across the board, streamlining processes, optimizing the supply chain, and getting the most out of their resources.
So it's like a company-wide efficiency push.
Pretty much.
Wow. So they managed to turn something that could have been negative into a positive.
They did.
Impressive.
Very.
Okay, so they're adapting and even thriving despite the bumps in the road.
Yeah.
That says something about their leadership.
Definitely.
So let's switch gears and talk profitability.
Okay.
I know their EBITDA went way up, right?
Absolutely. Their EBITDA before ESOP costs is up 70% year on year.
No kidding.
To $447 million.
Wow.
And in the first half of FY25, it's up 161%.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, big numbers.
So what is driving that profit growth?
Well,
is it just the operational efficiency or is there more to it?
It's a few things.
Okay.
Their product portfolio, they've been focusing on higher margin products.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even with inflation, they've managed to keep operating expenses down thanks to the restructuring and efficiency measures we talked about.
Okay, so it sounds like they're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
Growing revenue, expanding margins.
Right.
Keeping costs under control.
Yep.
You'd think they would just keep doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
But then they made that big announcement.
Oh, yeah.
The merger.
With Viash Life Sciences.
Yeah.
Big news.
Yeah.
On September 26, 2024, Sequent announced that they're merging with Viash, which is another big player in the animal health space.
Yeah.
And this is not just any merger. This could really change the industry.
Before we get into why they're merging, let's talk about Viash.
Okay.
Who are they?
So Viash is a privately held company.
Okay.
And they also focus on animal health. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're strong in areas that Sequent isn't.
So they kind of complement each other.
Exactly. Sequent is really good at producing and distributing a wide range of animal health products. But Viash is really focused on research and development of new innovative solutions.
Okay. So it's not just about getting bigger.
No.
It's about combining these strengths to create something bigger than both of them.
Exactly.
But is Viash doing as well financially as Sequent?
That's a good question, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
They had a great Q2. They actually did better than Sequent in some areas.
Okay.
They had 10.1% revenue growth year on year.
Nice.
And a very impressive 33.4% growth in their adjusted EBITDA.
Wow. So they're coming into this merger strong.
Yeah.
But what about their overall financial health? Do they have a lot of debt?
Actually, they've been reducing their debt.
Okay.
Their net debt to EBITDA ratio has gone from 1.1x in fiscal year 2024 down to 0.7x in the first half of 2025.
Wow.
That's a good sign.
So we've got these two companies, both financially healthy, both with a good track record, and both with unique strengths.
Yep.
So I can see why they would want to join forces.
Yeah.
But I'm still wondering, what are the specific reasons for this merger?
Right.
What are they trying to achieve together that they couldn't do on their own?
Good question.
And how could this impact the animal health industry overall?
Those are the million-dollar questions.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we'll get into next.
Right. Sounds good.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about this Sequent-Viash merger.
Yeah.
You know, Sequent's this global player in animal health, and they're merging with Viash, which is like this innovation powerhouse. Right. But what does this merger really mean?
Yeah. We've established that both companies are doing well financially, and they have different strengths.
Yep.
But what's the end goal here?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is the combined R&D power they'll have.
Okay.
Sequent gets access to Viash's team of over 35 R&D experts.
Wow.
And their IP portfolio.
What's that like?
Like over 175 filed patents.
Okay.
And more than 30 have already been granted.
Oh, wow. So it's like they're putting together this scientific dream team to really accelerate innovation.
That's the idea.
But could you give me some concrete examples?
Sure.
Like, what kind of breakthroughs could this merger enable in animal health?
So think about some of the challenges facing the industry, like antibiotic resistance and emerging diseases, the need for like more sustainable therapies, you know, more targeted therapies.
Right.
Viash has been working on new drug delivery systems that could really change how we treat livestock.
Interesting.
Combining that with Sequent's global reach and their manufacturing capabilities could really speed up the development and deployment of these solutions.
That makes sense. Faster innovation is important in any industry.
Yeah.
But especially in animal health.
Right.
Because the stakes are so high. It's not just about R&D though, right?
No.
You mentioned manufacturing. So how does this merger affect that part of the business?
So this is where that synergy really comes in. Together, they'll have more than double their current manufacturing capacity, including multiple U.S. FDA-approved facilities.
Oh, that's great. So what does that mean, like, practically?
Well, it lets them scale production, but it also gives them more control over their supply chain.
Which is really important these days.
Yeah.
With everything going on.
For sure.
Like, you know, the pandemics and the geopolitical instability.
Exactly.
All that. Having a good supply chain is key.
It is. Especially for essential stuff.
Right.
Like animal health products.
Okay, so faster innovation, more capacity, and a better supply chain.
And don't forget about the front-end benefits.
The front-end benefits.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So the merger combines their existing relationships with all the major pharmaceutical players.
Okay.
And that creates a much bigger network for distribution and sales.
Can you break that down for our listeners?
Sure.
What exactly do you mean by front-end presence?
It's basically the entire customer-facing side of the business. So like marketing, distribution channels.
Okay.
By joining forces, they're essentially expanding their sales force, strengthening their networks, and getting into new markets.
That makes sense.
It means they can get their products to more veterinarians and farmers and potentially help a much larger animal population.
Okay, so we've got all these reasons for the merger.
Yeah.
Faster innovation, more capacity, more resilient supply chain, and a wider reach in the market.
Exactly.
But mergers are complicated, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the challenges they might face?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is going to be integrating the two company cultures.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Viash is coming from a privately held background, so they're probably used to moving faster, less bureaucracy.
Okay.
Sequent is a publicly traded multinational company.
Right.
They probably have more established processes,
Yeah.
stricter compliance, and a more hierarchical structure.
So how do you bridge that gap?
Right.
Like, how do you bring those two worlds together?
It's a tough balancing act.
Yeah.
Sequent's leadership is going to have to be very careful about how they approach this integration. Clear communication is key.
Right.
Listening to employees and finding ways to respect both cultures.
So if Sequent tries to force their culture onto Viash, they could lose what made Viash so attractive in the first place.
Exactly.
Are there any examples of mergers where companies have successfully done this?
There are definitely examples, both good and bad, that Sequent can look at. The key takeaway is that cultural integration can't be an afterthought. It has to be part of the plan.
From day one.
Yeah.
But cultural integration is just one piece.
Right.
Right?
Right.
What about keeping employees?
Yeah, talent retention is critical.
Because if people feel like their values aren't respected,
right,
they might leave.
Yeah. Especially those highly skilled R&D folks.
Yeah, they're in high demand.
They are.
So what can Sequent do about that?
They need to address these concerns head on.
Okay.
Maybe through mentorship programs, clear career paths, maybe even cultural sensitivity training.
So everyone feels valued?
Yes.
And has a place in the new organization?
That's the goal.
It sounds like HR is going to be busy.
They will be.
Okay. So beyond the internal challenges...
I'm curious about the external implications.
Yeah.
Like, how will this merger affect competition in the animal health industry?
That's a good question.
Could this lead to higher prices?
Potentially.
Or fewer choices for veterinarians and farmers?
It's possible.
Yeah.
But there are potential benefits, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking it would all be negative.
Not necessarily.
So tell me about the benefits.
Well, a bigger company has more resources to invest in R&D.
Okay.
Which could lead to new treatments. They're more affordable because of economies of scale.
Okay, interesting.
And a more efficient supply chain could also mean lower costs.
So it's not a simple situation.
No.
There are pros and cons. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how other companies respond.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Will they try to partner up too?
Maybe.
Will they focus on their own niche areas?
Could be.
This is going to make the animal health industry a lot more interesting.
But let's bring it back to our listeners.
Okay.
We've talked about the benefits and challenges of the merger, but what does it all mean for investors?
Yeah.
Are they excited about this deal?
Good question.
Or are they being cautious?
Let's find out. So are investors excited about this Sequent Viash deal?
Yeah. Are they optimistic or are they kind of holding their breath?
Well, it seems like the market is pretty optimistic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Both companies have seen their stock prices go up since they announced the merger.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm sure there's still some risks, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, Sequent is taking on some debt to finance this merger. But their combined financial strength should help them manage that.
Okay.
And don't forget, Sequent's management team, they have a good track record.
Right.
Of growth and navigating complex deals.
So they know what they're doing.
It seems like it.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Into the world of animal pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah.
It could be so interesting.
Right. We've learned a lot about Sequent Scientific. Their impressive performance this quarter.
Yeah, they're doing well.
And this game-changing merger.
With Viash.
That could reshape the entire animal health industry.
It's a big deal.
Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
No problem. It was fun.
For our listeners out there, keep an eye on this story.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next.
Will Sequent and Viash be able to successfully integrate?
Yeah, will they create this global animal health powerhouse?
And what will it mean for the future of animal care?
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions. But that's what makes this industry so exciting.
It does.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
And we'll see you on our next deep dive.